Welcome everybody. Happy first day of summer. Today we're going to get started in a standing position. So stand up. Just find a nice comfortable stance, feet about hips width distance apart. And just start to rub the hands together, creating a little bit of friction, some warmth. And then reach the arms up towards the sky. Deep inhale, and then exhale the hands down. Sweep the arms up overhead. Deep inhale, try and really circle the arms back, opening up through the chest, squeezing the collarbone or the shoulder blades. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. And then exhale, bring them back down by the sides. Now we're gonna start up by doing some jumping jacks. So we start as a pencil pose, feet together, arms down, and then inhale, begin. Try and connect with your breath. Little short breaths in and out. Really trying to create a lot of heat at the beginning of class. Shake up the energy. Brush off any dust from the night. But 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now, plant your feet down and bring your arms along the sides of your body. Palms face forward. Close the eyes. And smooth down the breath. Notice how you're feeling today in your body, in your mind. Create an inner sense of awareness and being by drawing attention to the way your body feels right now. Notice any sways, moving back to front or side to side. See if you can curl up the corners of your lips just slightly, creating a bit of a smile. Now blink the eyes open. On your inhale, bring the arms up overhead. And then exhale, forward fold. And here in your forward fold, just try and feel very heavy in the upper body. Sway from side to side. And create any type of movement that you need today. So it might not be exactly what I'm doing. You can cultivate your own sense of practice and movement during our time together. I'm simply here to guide you and lead you through a yoga practice. Remember, our practice is here as an opportunity to breathe, maybe a bit deeper than we usually do, and move our body. We know that movement in the body is important, and stillness in the mind is welcome. So drop your fingertips towards the ground when you're ready. Inhale, halfway lift, shift weight forward into the toes, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Press the crown of the head forward, and then exhale, fold. And then inhale, halfway lift. You can have a slight bend in the knees. Plant the right hand beneath the bridge of the nose and come up onto the fingertips like you're about to hike a football. And then sweep the left arm up overhead, twisting towards the left. Stacking left shoulder on top of right. And of course, you can bend into that right knee as much as you need to. And keep angling both sits bones back behind you. One more exhale to twist. And then come back to center, replace the left hand with the right. Take a deep inhale, maybe hinge weight forward once more. Try and find that stacking of shoulder over wrist, and then open up towards the right side, bending that left knee as much as you need to. And if the neck allows, gaze up towards the right fingertips. Try and align the right thumb so that it's just above your gaze. One more exhale, twist. Then come back to center, hanging heavy in this ragdoll type of pose. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, fold. Step the left foot back. And drop down into the left knee. Keep the fingertips on the ground. And inhale to pull the chest through. Gaze is forward. Use that tension beneath the fingertips to pull you forward. Angling hips more forward as well. And then come all the way up into the low lunge. Sweep the arms up overhead. Continue to pull your navel in towards the spine, almost sucking in the low belly. Smooth breaths here. Deep inhale. And then exhale, plant the left hand down. Keep the right arm up and twist towards the right. Can you keep the right knee stacked over the right ankle? Lift right hip so that it's in line with the left. One more exhale here. And then bring both fingertips to your mat. Tuck the left toes under. Hover that left knee. And then walk the fingers over towards the left. Walk, 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 walk. So that you're in a wide-legged forward fold. Angle the toes in, heels out. And press weight forward into the toes. And remember to keep weight into the outside edges of the feet, lifting up on the arches. Feel for that pulling along the sides of your calves. And engage your glutes. Try and spread the sits bones away from one another. Maybe in the next couple of breaths, the chest will come deeper towards your mat. And if your head is touching the mat, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're super flexible. It might mean that you'll need a shorter stance to feel more of a stretch. So if you have a wider stance, your chest can get lowered towards the ground easier. So if you want more of a challenge, bring the feet closer together, a couple of inches, and then hinge from the hips. Good. Walk the fingertips all the way back to the front of your mat. come down onto the left knee, sweep the arms up overhead, and then cactus through the elbows, squeezing the elbows down towards the ribs, planting the shoulder blades onto backside body. Inhale, straighten through the arms, and exhale, cactus the elbows. Inhale, lift the arms, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, cactus through the elbows. This time, angle the chest up towards the ceiling, maybe gaze shifts up. Externally rotate the arm bones inside the shoulder socket by pressing the inner elbows up towards the sky. Keep breathing here. And then come back to center. Keep the cactus with the elbows and then twist towards the right. And it doesn't have to be a super deep twist, just as much as you can do in this moment. Try and twist from the lower belly. And then come back to center, reach the arms up overhead. Deep inhale, maybe slight back bend, pressing that right knee forward, pressing the hip points forward. And then exhale, both hands come down onto the mat. Come up off of that left knee and come forward into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, reset the spine, feel long in the sides of your body. And then exhale, fold, hinging from the hips. Good. Step the right foot back. Bring the right knee down into the mat. Keep the fingertips on the ground first, just to help you pull the chest through. And it's okay that the ribs or the belly is touching the top of the left thigh, but try to lift the belly away from the thigh, just so that you can find that engagement of lift. One more full inhale, try and broaden through the collarbones. And then exhale. Bring the arms up overhead. Can you pull the shoulders down away from the ears? Pull that right hip forward, left hip back. And again, this might not be the deepest of low lunges right now, kind of more going for stability than anything. Think about pulling the right knee forward energetically and the left foot back towards the back of the room, like you're scissoring the legs together without actually moving them. One more full inhalation. And then exhale, plant the right hand down. Reach the left fingertips up towards the sky. Go for that twist. Maybe up. And try and lift out of the right shoulder, not to dump any weight down. You want to go for that lifting. And imagine that I'm pressing into your left palm as a point of leverage for your torso to twist deeper, maybe even one day your chest facing the ceiling. One more exhale. And then plant the the fingertips down towards the mat. Tuck the right toes under, lift up that knee, and then walk your fingertips over towards the right. Walk, 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 walk. Turn both toes in towards one another slightly, and come down into your wide-legged forward fold. Now here you can take another variation if you'd like. Maybe you interlace your fingers behind your back and go for more of a shoulder opening here, allowing the chest to descend closer towards the ground and keeping a nice elongated spine. Notice if you're collapsing into your arches, can you lift up the middle of your feet? Allow the head to drop. And if your eyes aren't closed, try and close them for these last few breaths. And one more exhale. Take your time. Move at your own cadence, your own rhythm. You don't always have to be directly with my breath or my movements. Start to walk the fingertips back to center. Bend into that right knee. Drop it down towards the ground. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And then exhale, cactus through the elbows. Inhale, straighten through the arms, palms face towards one another. Exhale, cactus, and pull the floating ribs in. Inhale, lift. And exhale, cactus. Here we're gonna hold it. So see if you can really keep your ribs pulled in towards the midline and start to angle the gaze up towards the ceiling while keeping that tuck of the ribs. One more inhale. And then bring it back to center, straighten through the arms, cactus through the elbows. We forgot to twist towards the right, or towards the left, so we're gonna do that now. Start to bring the left elbow back, right elbow forward. And we're twisting from the trunk, not from the arm. So you might have super flexible shoulders. Try and really have the twist happen from the low belly and then the mid back and then the upper back. One more exhale. And then come back to center. Plant both hands down. Come high up off of that right knee and step it forward. Forward fold. Let it go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Moving a bit more quickly now. There will be a couple of options for you, so keep those in mind as we move through this next sequence. Left foot back behind you. Come down onto the knee. Sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, twist or cactus through the elbows and twist towards the right. Inhale back to center. Reach the fingertips up towards the sky. And then exhale, bring the fingertips down towards the ground. Lift up that left knee. And come into your wide-legged forward fold. Toes face towards the side of the room, angled in. We'll be here for one more full breath. And then on your next inhale, start to walk the fingertips back up to center. Angle the toes forward, come down onto the left knee, sweep the arms up overhead. And now this time, bring the left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. So if that's not accessible for you, then you stay here, just in this twist. And if you have the hook of the left elbow on the outside of the right thigh, then bring your right hand to, or bring your palms together. And try and get the thumbs to the notch of your sternum. Twisting open towards the right side. And release, unravel, bring the arms up overhead. Straight elbows here. And then exhale, fingertips down, come off of that left knee. Left foot comes to meet the right, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift to reset. Exhale, fold. Step the right foot back, come down onto the knee, reach your arms up overhead. Deep inhale here, cactus through the elbows, and twist towards the left. Inhale back to center, reach through the fingertips, and then exhale, come down, moving into that wide-legged forward fold. Full breath here. Walk yourself back up to center, bend into that right knee. Sweep the arms up overhead. Go for that cactus twist. And if you're going for the deeper variation, you're welcome to bring right elbow to the outer left thigh. Press the palms together and try and work the hands to heart center. Gaze is up if available, looking back towards the left. One more exhale to twist. And then come back to center. Reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, fingertips come down. Right knee lifts and bring it back up. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift to reset. Exhale, fold. Okay, once more. Step the left foot back in space. Now either come down onto the knee or hold it here in this runner's lunge. And then sweep the arms up overhead. High crescent warrior. If you're there, you can be here as well. Deep inhale. Exhale, cactus through the elbows and twist over towards the right. Inhale back to center. Reach up through the arms. Exhale, hands come down towards the mat. Twist over towards the left, forward fold. Full breath here. Toes come to face forward, either down onto the left knee or high up into your crescent warrior. Deep inhale here. And whether you're going for the twist or want the hook, left elbow to right thigh, twisting open towards the side. Press your right palm into the left and use that as leverage to twist from the low spine. One more exhale. And then bring it back to center. Find your balance. Reach the arms up overhead. Chest comes forward. Keep that lunge deep. And then exhale. Step the left foot forward. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step right foot back. Come into this runner's lunge. Or come into your low lunge. You choose. Arms rise up overhead. Cactus through the elbows. Twist towards the left. Inhale back to center. Reach up through the hands. Exhale, come down. And take your wide-legged forward fold to the right. Keep reaching the sits bones up towards the sky. Pulling the chest through either with the muscles on your body or if you have that tension of fingertips to the ground, try and pull the chest through. Find your deepest variation today. And then unravel, bringing both toes towards face towards the front of the room. Reach your arms up overhead, find your variation. Either go for that twist once more or hook left or right elbow on top of left thigh. Find this prayer twist towards the left. Keep lifting the right hip up, left hip down. One more exhale. And then fingertips come back to center. Step the right foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, let it go. Plant the hands down beneath the shoulders and step the feet back so that you're in a high push-up plank position. Really ground down through the knuckles. Bend the inner elbows forward, pressing or encouraging the scapulas to come further onto backside body. Shorten the distance between the lowest ribs and the tops of your hips to really engage through your abdomen. Find length in your backside body that includes the neck. So gaze is down, keeping the neck spine long. Keep pressing back through the heels. Feel for pulling on the back sides of the legs. Smooth out the breath. Notice how your body, your mind reacts to a bit of heat building here. We encourage that little bit of sweat dripping down your face. A little bit of shakes in the muscles. Try and stick with it. 2 more full breaths here. Slow down the breath. 1 more full inhalation. And then exhale. Bring the knees down onto the mat and push your hips back. Find child's pose. Reach the fingertips forward towards the front of your space. And try and find connection of your forehead to the mat. And here in this resting pose, come to the breath. Focus on the exhales. How can you make the exhales a little bit more softer? Focus on the subtleties of the breath. The things we typically don't think about because it is an involuntary body rhythm. So we do find that sense of calming if we tune into the exhales. See if you can soften through the hips a bit more. Release through the shoulders. And now focus on your inhales. Notice where you're sending your breath, where you can feel your breath. A lot of times we breathe more into the chest. So we've got that expansion of our front lungs. But try and intentionally send your breath into the back. along the backs of the ribs. And then try to feel the low back expand up towards the ceiling. Pressing the kidneys up towards the sky. And depending on what type of child's pose you've taken, whether the knees are in or out, the pressure could differ from one way to the other. So take one more full inhalation and exhalation. And then as you're ready, press your weight into a tabletop position. Stack the shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. And start to move the hips from side to side. We've already done quite a bit of activation in the big muscles of the body, the legs. And quite a bit of twisting here. So it's nice to have a little bit of movement in the sides of the body and also into the front and back sides. So if you want to start moving through some cat-cows, your inhale draws the gaze up, belly lifts, or belly drops, tail lifts. Exhale, tuck the tail, tuck the chin. On your inhale, cow, try and angle the inner elbows forward. And on your exhale, take that rounded spine, inner elbows spin inward towards one another, furthering the scapulas away from one another. Take a couple more rounds on your own. And the eyes can be closed. There's so much more to feel here than to see. Start to make your way into your tabletop. Move the left knee in towards the right an inch, and then extend that right foot back towards the back of your mat. And start to rock onto the ball of the foot and then onto the toes. Just rocking forward and back. And if anything feels good, maybe a stretch along the back side of your calf. You can stay here for a breath or two. Sometimes movement feels nice, sometimes stillness feels nice. So listen to the body. And then start to bring the right toes over towards the right. So you're just drawing a quarter circle over towards the right, coming into a gate pose with the legs. So try and align the right heel in the same plane as the right hip. And here, start to move the hips back towards the left heel and then forward towards the front of your space. And that right foot, the sole of the right foot is planted onto the ground. And here, just like in Warrior Two or the wide-legged forward fold, try and lift up on the arches. And then stay here, hips hovered over that left knee. Plant through the left palm, or maybe come up onto the fingertips. Reach the right arm up overhead. Deep inhale, and then exhale. Thread the right hand underneath the left shoulder. Just bringing the hand through for your exhale, and then on your inhale, bring it back up towards the sky. We're going to do that 2 more times. Your inhale brings you up. Feel an opening through the chest. And then exhale brings you down. Engage through the core when you're twisting. And then on your inhale, lift back up. And then exhale, we're going to stay in this thread the needle position. So bring the top of the right arm down onto the ground. And if you can get your head to meet the ground, great. If not, you can stay here hovered, but try and get the top of the right side of the head to reach down towards the mat. Send the hips back in space. Keep pressing into the outer side of the right foot. One more exhale. Start to plant the left hand underneath the left shoulder once more. Open up through the chest. And then bring the right palm down to the mat. Start to draw that circle with the right toes back towards the back of your mat, and then keep drawing that circle further towards the left, out past the left toes, so that you're in, the inner thighs are crossed and pressing into one another. Now start to bring the hands out towards the left, and you can always come out and modify. You don't have to, this doesn't have to be a super deep stretch here, but we're really just trying to find a pulling, elongating right side body. Left forearm can come down if you need that. Maybe right forearm can come down. Fan open through the right rib cage. And then come back to center, spinning bringing the right toes back behind the right hip, and then coming into your tabletop. Extend the left leg back. And here, just go for that movement forward and back. Pausing anywhere that you'd like. And then start to bring the left toes over towards the left. Coming into gate pose with the legs. And then start to shift the hips forward and back. Here, I'll move over so that you can see my left foot planted. Can I get it in frame? There we go. Just any type of movement here is welcome. Some side body stretches. Really feel for an opening along the inner side of the left hamstring. And then reach the left arm up overhead. Deep inhale. And then exhale. Left hand comes underneath the right arm. Just press it through. Inhale lifts you up. Exhale, send it through. Inhale, lift up. Imagine that you're wringing out a rag. We're doing the same thing here, except with our bodies. Just wringing out our organs, our inner organs rather. Now bring the back of the left arm down onto the mat. And try and get the top of your head towards the left, down onto the mat. If you can spread the left fingers a little bit wider from one another and press the back of the hand down into the mat, maybe you can find a little bit more lift in the right rib cage, stacking it a little bit over the left. It's not going to be directly over, but just the action and the intention of movement. And one more exhale. Plant that right hand down. Inhale the left arm up, overhead. Plant both hands down and start to draw that half circle now. Or maybe it's some kind of semicircle. Down, past the right foot, and over towards the right. And then bring the arms over towards the right. And try and breathe into the left side of your body. Coming down onto forearms is okay here. But try and keep your shoulders away from the ears. One more full inhalation and exhalation. Squeeze, compressing that right side rib cage down into the right hip. And then come back to stacking shoulders over wrists. Draw that circle back behind you, and then come into your tabletop. Move through a few cat-cows to reset. Now tuck the toes under. Hover the knees off of the mat, 1 inch or 2. And keep pressing into the mat. Dome through the upper back. Pull the crown of the head and the tailbone away from one another, lengthening the backside body. One more full inhale. And then exhale, lift the hips up and back. And our first downward facing dog of the class. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, soft exhale. And once more, inhale. Try and find that elongated spine. Press the ground away. Hold the breath at the top. Try and angle the heels down towards the mat. It's okay if they don't reach the mat. Open the mouth. Audible exhale. Good. Now bring the right knee in between the hands, just below the chest. So it doesn't actually have to be between the hands, but just a little bit further down away from the hands. And then bring the right foot out towards the left so that you're kind of in this A shaped with the legs. Bring the left knee behind the right knee. And then bring the feet far away from one another. Start to press your weight forward and back. And then eventually try and work the hips down onto the mat. The right knee is going to lift. And here is always a good place to find a prop. So if you have a pillow nearby or some kind of block, maybe a stack of books, just for added support, essentially bringing the ground to you so that you can feel a pretty intense opening in the outer sides of the hips. If you would like more of a stretch to move forward, bring the right palm over towards the right and bring the left arm overhead. Bend into the left elbow. Try and send the elbow high and over towards the right so that you can open up along the left side rib cage. And keep grounding through the left sit bone if it wants to lift up. Keep encouraging it to ground down. And come back to center. Reach the arms up overhead. Cactus through the elbows. Lift up through the chest. Gaze comes up. And then plant the hands down in front of you, coming up onto the knees. And unravel exactly the way that we came into it. So extend the left foot back and then the right foot back. Hips lift into downward facing dog. And then send the left knee underneath the chest. And then the right knee behind the left. Take a few moments here to move the hips forward and back. Come into the sides of your body. And then eventually, sitting the seat between the feet. And this side can be completely different than the other side. It can look completely different. It can feel completely different. So wherever you are, try and press down through the points of your seat that are touching the ground or a block or what have you. A pillow maybe, a blanket works too. Grab for the tops of your feet or your ankles and use that grip like you're gripping the handlebars of a bike to pull your chest forward and up. Chin up, have confidence here. Deep inhale. And then exhale. If you want that side body stretch, left hand over towards the left, right hand comes up overhead. Bend into the elbow and just let that right hand drop. So no activity in the right wrist or right fingers. Simply allowing the structure of the arm, the way the muscles are wrapped and connected in that joint to pull and lengthen the right side of your body. One more full breath. Bring the arms up overhead. Cactus through the elbows. Send the chest through. Maybe gaze comes up. And then bring the hands down beneath you. Shift your weight onto the knees. Extend right foot back, left foot back. Come into down dog. And then drop both knees down onto the mat. Swing your hips to one side of your feet. And we're going to set up for a seated forward fold. So if you need to tap out your knees at all, just bouncing the knees. That might feel good after a bit of pressure on the knees, depending on your sensitivities. Now, knees can be bent or knees can be straight. Typically, knees bent allows for a straighter spine when we eventually go down. Knees straight or legs straight will, it might provide more of a rounding in the spine, which can also be nice as well. So you choose what type of pose you're going to have today for your forward fold. Reach your arms up overhead and exhale, reach down. So depending on what pose you picked, it can either be more of an action based of pulling your chest through, trying to really keep that elongated spine, or you can go for more of that yin pose where you're just rounding over the thighs, allowing the breath to really be sent into the backside body and explore places that it might not always get to. And just like I did, you could try out both and see which one you like today. You can alternate from day to day. Stop, drop, and yoga throughout the day if you'd like. It's good to incorporate some stretches and movement. Just doing daily chores around the house. We're in the office, or home office now. And then slowly come up. If your hips aren't in the center of the mat, bring them there now. And feet can stay flat on the ground, arms out long beside you, or you can lift up the shins so that they're parallel with the ground, finding boat pose. And if you'd like more, extend through the legs. Always options to progress and always modifications to take a step back. Take an inhale here, and then exhale. Start to slowly reach the back of the heart down towards the ground. So if your feet are on the ground, great. Just keep inching your way back. If your feet are lifted, go for it. Keep inching one vertebrae at a time down to the mat. Bring the knees in towards the chest. And slowly circle the knees in one direction and in the other. And then straighten through the legs. Try and get your ankles to stack over the hips. And then reach your arms up, straightening them above you, palms faced towards one another. And then lift the shoulder blades up off of the mat. And then just do little pulses, fingertips towards the toes. Keep breathing. Can't forget about that. Just little pulses, trying to get a little last bit of effort and engagement in the abdomen. A little bit of core to end class. Not so bad, right? About 10 more seconds. You can do it. Stick with it. If you focus on your breath, then you won't feel so much or feel so much agony in the core, if that's what you're feeling. You'll still have it, and you still know it's there, but it's not as bad. 2 and 1, release, bring the knees in towards the chest. And then plant the soles of the feet down into the mat, hips width distance apart. Extend the arms and just try and find the backs of the heels, just brushing the fingertips towards the back of the heels so that you're in alignment. And then press the hips up, finding a bridge pose. Just a counter movement, a stretching along front side body to balance out that little bit of core work. Keep lifting those hips up for one more deep inhale. And then exhale, send the hips down in space, or down onto the mat rather. And then lift the ankles over the hips once more. And you can stay here for legs up the wall. You can actually turn towards the wall and just allow the backs of the heels to rest up against the wall so that you don't actually have to put in much effort to keep your feet hovered. Or if you would like more, we can move into a shoulder stand. So I'm going to guide that now. Start to lift up your hips by using your strong ab muscles. And once you're there, bring the hands to the low back and push the hips up so that they're stacked as much as you can over the ribs. Point your feet and then flex the toes back. And whether you're here or in that legs up the wall position, you'll still get the benefits of that lymph flow drainage. We'll be here for about 10 more seconds. And exactly the way that you came out. Start to drop the hips down towards the ground using support from your hands. And then find your final pose, Shavasana, corpse pose. Take up as much space as you'd like. Bringing the legs out long and wide. And arms out wide, palms face up. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in through the nose. Hold it at the very top. Take in a little bit more air, little sips. Even if you think you're at capacity, take in a little bit more. And then exhale out of the mouth to release any type of breath control. Keep the lips parted away from one another slightly, so that air can slowly free in and out of the nose and mouth. Notice if you're holding on to any of your muscles, any of the joints of the body, can you let go of the low back? Unclench the glutes. Relax through the chest and shoulders, the back of the neck. And then finally, allow the tongue to drop away from the roof of your mouth. Relax your jaw. Feel a softness in between the eyebrows. and on your forehead. And allow that softness to expand down towards the base of the skull, wrapping all the way over top of your head. And then expanding down the arms, the torso, the hips, the knees, all the way to the toes. Now that you're surrounded in this intention of softness and relaxation, maybe a sense of peace and well-being, allow that aura to expand outward beyond the body. Imagine it spanning across the room, filling up your house, the building that you live in. Expand to fill up the city with that love and peace and wellness. Send that intention further, encompassing the state, our country, and eventually the entire world, and all of our individual, very unique auras and intentions overlap, creating an even stronger collective. Start to take a deep breath in through the nose. Fill up the belly, feel the ribs expand, lift the lungs, the heart. And then exhale out of the mouth. Release. Start to rock the back of the head on the mat from side to side. Exercising your ability to say no. Nod the head up and down, tucking the chin, lifting the chin. Exercising your ability to say yes. And then bring the knees in towards the chest. Wrap the forearms around the shins. Try and create a flat back, really pressing the knees in towards your chest, giving yourself a big squeeze. Tucking the chin. And then however you'd like to come into a seated position, go there now, whether it's falling to one side, passing through a fetal position, or rocking along the length of your spine. When you're in the seated position, bring the hands to heart center. With a soft gaze or closed eyes, keep the shoulders stacked over the ribs and the hips, grounding through the points touching your mat, but also lifting the crown away. Feel expansion through each and every vertebrae. More room for all of your intentions to lie and grow. It's always a pleasure to guide you through your practice. I hope you have a wonderful day. Namaste.